city is we don't even love each other. We take these people at the podium here as miracle workers. They are only human beings. There are people outside of this brick wall that have the answers. We need to get them together and let them suggest certain people that we should contact, things of that nature. One of the things that bugs me is having to read Oshawa news in Toronto papers. I would ask for the future mayor of Oshawa to try and encourage the people in this city to get together and let's have a daily newspaper, which I delivered as a child. And in that way, we'll know who has died and we'll know what is going on. And I don't like seeing all the dirty linen about Oshawa in Toronto newspapers because they would only infer by that Oshawa is a bunch of donuts. Why invest in that city? They're a bunch of screwballs.
I have found this late. Our papers aren't as around, but I found this late it's getting worse. I won't even bother to mention the name of the papers because they all put out the news yesterday, but half of today is a week later. I think it's shameful to see the fighting which is going on for a councillor and a mayor, and it's all showing up in the papers. This is just free advertising. I don't see anything worthwhile for the city when that kind of fighting goes on. I think they're responsible to the taxpayers to let them know what is happening. Yes, we do need a local paper that puts out every day and lets us know what's going on in City Hall. I wish I could have the answer and say, well, have Toronto Sun make a new paper. But I don't think anybody here can answer that. But the only thing is, this election has made dirty fighters and has made Oshawa look fun. Why do I care about the mayor's Camaro? I don't. They're allowed to do one every time they get done. Why would I put the fight with that? Everything that's old news rehashed. We have to make sure this city moves forward now. We must come up with new ideas. We know what the problems are, but if we don't start correcting and start beating each other up right on somebody else's newspaper, we're just look like a bunch of clowns. Thank you.
I'd like to address the question first about Oshawa pride. And I have to say, first off, that Oshawa City Council doesn't do much to enhance this. I was an Olympics volunteer out in Vancouver in January, February, and over that time, I read stories about the MBA issue here. It hit the press right across the country. We had the student raids on the city raids on student housing that had tremendous coverage in the latest magazine, the Globe and Mail, the National Post, the Toronto Star, CBC Television, National News. I talk about pride. This city council is not doing anything to enhance that. Now, I have, incidentally, when I brought board elections to Oshawa in 1985, we did have the Oshawa Times. And that project of putting board elections wouldn't have been possible without daily coverage in that paper, where I became one of the best known people in the whole city. I could go in stores and so on. Never been in them, people call me by name because of the coverage. And it was the coverage in the Oshawa Times was able to raise public consciousness about this issue and allowed me to fight this at the OMB and personally present the case in a 21-day hearing and win board elections for Oshawa.
Thank you very much, Bob. We know you as the biggest promoter of Oshawa, and I congratulate you for that. I want to say that it's always my position. It's about promoting Oshawa, about putting Oshawa in the best possible light that I possibly can every day of the week. And it pains me when things go wrong or people slam the city unnecessarily. We've all heard the term the schwa. It's meant in a derogatory term But we turn that around now. We have Schwa to be, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the way we turn things around. We make sure that all of us and also, I don't run down my competitors. It's absolutely not necessary. I think each one of us has an obligation to promote our ideas, what we're going to do, and I'm not going to take shots at my other competitors. It's just not necessary.
I think the lack of pride is something that we as Canadians seem to have. It seems to be endemic to Canadians. We always look somewhere else to see what's better. We don't recognize a lot of things until the recognition comes from outside. So Oshawans are probably just being really Canadian when they do that. It is unfortunate, though, that sometimes we do create our own embarrassment. One of the things I will say to you in terms of a paper, though, it really is unfortunate that we don't have a daily paper. Oshawa this week, and probably the Express if they were to tell you, but Oshawa this week, I know that they have said they don't have the reporting, they don't have the money to do investigative journalism. And that's something that is key to a community, is to be able to have that kind of a watchdog in the press. That's something that gives us democracy. And when we don't have a daily paper, that means that we aren't getting that oversight, we aren't getting that really looking into things. So the reporting that happens tends to be on things that are easy to criticize, like the reporting that we've seen on the election hearing. I guess again I'll refer to the one that we have at the Star, though that is real investigative journalism. And when there are real problems in the community, we do need the press to look into them and make sure that things are being handled properly. And if there's problems, they're stopped.
Well, first of all, I have to thank you because you're in my office on quarterly or so with a great idea of how to take the city and promote it into a different light, and I appreciate that. And you're not the only one. There are other people out there. We have great community leaders over the history of the city, such as Terry Kelly, Sandy Hall. Those people who have their names down on the Walk of Fame in downtown Oshawa. So we do have some of that. The problem is how do we convince the residents of the city to be proud of their community and go out into the world stage as salesmen? So when you go away on a trip, you say, I'm from Oshawa, instead of saying I'm from that little town east of Toronto. We have a lot of things in this community to be proud of. And we need to celebrate the wins, and we need to promote it ourselves. And when we as residents of this community get it, we'll pass that message on and we'll sell it across the country. When we can turn our employees into positive salesmen for the residents and develop a better customer service model, so when you get something done at your home, you feel good about it, and you tell 17 friends, and they tell 5 friends, and the news gets out. That's how you establish pride in the community. Thank you.
I think that it's very important to establish pride in the community. I wish that the mayor had been out when the national press was talking about the MBAs, and talking about the Common Garden miniatures, talking about the raids on student housing and so on. I wish the mayor had been out talking about pride in this city, responsibility in this city, common sense in this city, rather than letting these kinds of stories get away from Oshawa to contribute to the negative image that many people have about Oshawa. I'd like to see him out there defending the highest taxes, residential taxes in the GTA. I'd like to see him out there defending the highest industrial commercial taxes in the whole GTA that's keeping out jobs and industry from here on out. I'd like to see him defend these things. After all, he is interested in the private community. I'm one who recognizes the problem. I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to hope that it goes away, because it's not going to go away without some real action.
but I do. Bob, you often drop off. I affectionately refer to them as the Hooper Report. I get them regularly, and I just want to credit you. The Walk of Fame was an incredible idea. It was your idea, and many of the people.